One of the worst things in life is feeling like a prisoner in our own body. You know that feeling when our sinuses throb, our eyes water, our head feels like it's stuffed with cotton, and all the while the world outside bursts with spring beauty, jasmines are blooming, robins are singing, little warblers are cheerfully warbling away by your window, and that you can barely appreciate all this through your watery eyes. Hey there, sisters. This is Salila with yet another episode of Actionable Ayurveda, where we learn new ways to reconnect to our Ayurvedic intelligence, our inbuilt AI, for a juicy, glowy body and a life of purpose. I've been an Ayurveda practitioner for over a decade, and seasonal allergies are one of the most common complaints I hear in my practice, especially as we transition into spring. As the sun climbs higher in the sky and the earth awakens from its winter slumber, we witness the miracle of renewal all around us. Frozen kapha that was deep within our core, now melting and coming to the surface, and bringing along with it debris from our unwise winter indiscretions. Amidst the sunshiny beauty of spring, many of us, me included, as you probably can hear in my voice, have found ourselves caught in nature's paradox. The very season that nourishes life also challenges our well being. Think sniffles, colds, coughs, allergy aggravations. Ayurveda has the answers. So stick with me. That tickle at the back of your throat during your morning presentation, that unexpected sneezing fits during your commute, the foggy heaviness that settles behind your eyes just as you prepare for an important meeting. These aren't merely inconveniences, they are messages from your body, speaking in that ancient language of Ayurveda, the language of vata, pitta, kapha, of movement, of metabolism, of stillness, of structure, telling you that balance is needed as the seasons shift. In Ayurveda, we understand that during this transition season, the kapha dosha, the energy of earth and water, becomes aggravated. During winter, our kapha accumulated in our bodies and went deep into our core. And as the warmth of spring arrives, it begins to melt and spread, potentially leading to congestion and allergies. Now, it's important to note that during the spring season, our body's strength is madhyama bala or moderate strength. This aggravation of kapha tends to weaken our digestive fire, making us more susceptible to seasonal imbalances. And I spoke about how if our winter was not very healthy, then expect your spring to be riddled with allergic episodes. Nature, in her infinite wisdom, provides the antidote within the very season that brings us the challenge. So, today I will share five practical Ayurvedic approaches that you can weave into your busy life. Approaches that have sustained my family for generations and that resonates with the crazy rhythm of our modern world. So, one of the first tips is embracing laghu ahara or light eating. I promise you, I've been eating khichdi every day. However, spring is a time of gathering of friends and reunions. So I get caught in the middle, but I also enjoy it. And because I know Ayurveda, I'm able to come back and help myself. And I'm sharing with you these tips that I use to take care of myself and my family and my clients. So the first wisdom is laghu ahara or light eating. During the first month of spring, known as Chaitra Masa in the Hindu tradition, many Hindus observe fasting during the Navratras. These are called as Chaitra Navratri. This isn't merely a spiritual practice, it's a profound recalibration of our physical being. Chaitra Navratri is a 9-day Hindu festival dedicated to goddess Durga, and it begins on the 30th of March and concludes on the 7th of April this year. Now, Chaitra and Vaishakha, starting mid March well until mid May, are considered Vasanta or the time of spring of colors. Yellow is the signature color of spring. I remember my grandmother in her 80s still observing her fasts with such grace. Her energy would remain steady while the rest of us, with our heavy meals, would feel sluggish in the afternoons, especially as our bodies battled spring's challenges. And we would all be going down for a nap, and she would still be up doing some little project, maybe sitting and reading a book, resting on her easy chair. Have you noticed how, after a rich lunch, that afternoon meeting becomes an exercise in staying awake, or how a heavy dinner might lead to congestion and aches and pains the following morning? This is kapha expressing itself, dampening our digestive system and giving free rein to vata, causing old aches to act up. By choosing lighter, warming foods, you support your body's natural detoxification. Opt for aged barley, wheat, or rice rather than new harvests, as the aged grains are lighter for digestion. When you're at the supermarket, look for the label that says aged, or always buy grains in bulk, like our ancestors, and store them for the next year. I remember my grandparents would have a granary, and new harvest would get stacked over the top of the large granary, while the older grains were moved down, and it was built up and supported by stilts, so rodents and small animals wouldn't get to it and make their home there. Only a nimble man could make his way up there and bringing out enough just for a month or so. I have to share this story with you. Once there was a flash flood, and grandma had gone out in the garden and it had rained all night. If you know how the monsoons are in Kerala, you cannot see a foot's distance in front of your eyes. The rain just comes down in sheets. So in the night, she was not to be found anywhere. No one could go out because it was raining so hard, and you're surrounded by rivers, and the rivers overflow, and it's not safe. So, next morning, as soon as it stopped raining, Grandpa went out with people looking for her, and she was found asleep in the granary. And she had no memory of how she climbed up the granary on the slippery stilts. She said a man came through in the dark and carried her up the stilts, which was even more hard to believe because she was wearing her sari, she's an elderly lady. How she gets so nimble that she climbed up the bamboo stilts, which were made even more slippery during the rain. So it was all attributed to the family deities and their power. This tells us that about 100 years ago, all throughout the rural areas where grains were harvested, we never ate fresh harvest as a daily meal. We used it to celebrate, to make dessert. However, daily staple was always aged grains. Eating new harvest, freshly harvested grains is a recipe for poor health because new grains have extra starch in them, and this makes extra slimy kapha in the body. It can make our body build more bulk when we really don't need that kind of bulk in an adult body. For children, it's good. For the elderly, it's all right. But most people in their youth and up until age of 70 do not really need freshly harvested grains. Okay, back to our topic. We must think of light breakfast for busy mornings. Consider preparing a smoothie with cooked fruit infused with warming spices like pepper, cinnamon, cardamom, and a touch of ginger. It's a delicious way to begin your day with balance. This combination not only tastes divine but also helps pacify kapha while providing sustainable energy. If you're not vegetarian, lean meats like goat or chicken, preferably roasted with spices and herbs like curry leaves, cilantro, bay leaves, green onions, can provide strength without increasing kapha. Favor bitter greens like fenugreek leaves, kale, collards, and pungent vegetables like radishes, cauliflowers that naturally scrape away accumulated kapha. When it comes to lentils, kulat or horse gram is excellent for its scraping, cleansing qualities. Imagine a protein that doesn't just build, it breaks down the unwanted. Western diet does not even have this concept. Horse gram is warming, penetrating. It goes deep into the channels of the body. It's drying and astringent. And this is what makes it scraping or reducing or a cleansing kind of protein. Its vipaka or its post metabolic effect is amla or sour, which is Ayurveda's way of saying it will cause you to become skinny. which is the opposite of what Kapha does in spring. It stoutens us, it builds bulk. If we don't watch out, this is a good season, we tend to pile on those pounds. Winter, that extra pounds were necessary to keep us insulated from the cold, dry winds. But in spring, it's an imbalance. It's starting to move into the realm of disease. However, spring is also the time when kapha starts to melt. So, this makes it one of the best times in the year to lose that extra winter weight. It's not just about eating lighter, it's about choosing foods with specific qualities that counteract kapha's heavy, cloying, cold nature. What's equally important is knowing what to avoid during this season. Foods that are heavy, cold, oily, sour, excessively sweet can aggravate kapha and worsen allergy symptoms. That creamy pasta lunch or cold frozen banana breakfast smoothie might be undermining your body's natural balance during allergy season. What's one meal you could now simplify starting tomorrow, now that I've shared with you all these little tips and tricks? Perhaps breakfast could be a light barley porridge with warming spices instead of heavier options. Visnan is a favorite among my clients. It comes from the Thar region of India, the northwest frontier of India. It's made with buckwheat groats soaked overnight in thin buttermilk. And then the next morning, you cook it over a low flame till it's creamy and delicious. Doesn't take more than 10-15 minutes. And then you give it a tempering, like any savory foods like a khichdi or a pongal or a poha. You can add any of those temperings with some asafoetida and cumin seeds. You can throw in some green chilies and cilantro, and it's very healthy and satisfying. You have to try to believe how good it is. And don't forget to add a teaspoon of ghee on top to help digest it better. Our second practice is nasya, an Ayurvedic nasal therapy particularly valuable when pollen fills the air. Nasya involves instilling herbal oils or medicated ghee into the nostrils to pacify aggravated vata and kapha in the head regions. One of the best oils for this is Anutaila. The experience can cause discomfort as the ancient formula contains mild spices to irritate and help the stuck kapha moving. However, it is worth enduring the mild discomfort as the benefits are many, from a clearer skin to deeper sleep and balanced hormones. I'm sharing this practice with you because I genuinely want to help you breathe easier and feel better during this challenging season. This simple ritual has been transformative for so many of my patients, and it takes just minutes of your day. You can check out my Nasya video on my Instagram page. I will add the link in the show notes. Now let's explore Dhumrapana or herbal smoking, a practice that might sound unconventional to modern ears but has been used for millennia to expel excess kapha and support our respiratory health. You find it very funny. I was watching an old Kerala movie from the probably and they were promoting the use of Ayurvedic cigarettes as a post lunch digestive. And it makes total sense when you look at it through the Ayurvedic lens. Contrary to our belief, smoking with herbal leaves is actually excellent for drying out that excessive kapha, especially after a meal, after an episode of cold or fever where we have a lot of kapha coming out. We call it a productive cough. When we have a situation like that, smoke can be beneficial in helping drying out our chest region. Last December, when I was home, I watched my parents fumigate the home every evening, and this is a common practice in rural India. So we are breathing in passive smoke from herbals. Each evening, mother would prepare a small bundle of coconut fibers and add frankincense resin. She would light this bundle, allowing the medicinal smoke to fill our sleeping area, the living room, and the nooks and crannies where damp and mosquitoes might build a home. This ritual has fascinated me how something as simple as sacred smoke could help us breathe easier through the night. Many cultures have this practice, burning Palo Santo, burning sage. All this is rooted in the Ayurvedic native traditions for removing kapha during the time after the sun sets or after sunrise. When we do this, we are warding off disease by killing pathogens in the atmosphere and helping us breathe better. For all those of you who are living in urban apartments where smoke might trigger alarms, there are adaptations. Burn the smoke in your kitchen, just like I do, away from the smoke alarms, intentionally taking 3 to 7 deep breaths over the smoke. Use a metal funnel to guide the smoke so it doesn't get into your eyes. Just make sure to hover your nostrils right above it. When it gets into your eyes, and it's happened to me many times, it's not fun. You can repurpose a little cast iron or ceramic saucepan or buy a Loban cup online. When was the last time you allowed yourself a moment of intentional breathing amidst your busy schedule? Is it possible to create a small ritual around breath this week? Just try it. Take a iron pot, burn some turmeric, some cloves, let it smoke, catch the smoke with a little metal funnel, and inhale that smoke in and see how good you feel, especially if you have a cold. Before I get to the final two Ayurvedic practices, I want to share the story of one of my patients I saw last month. Ritika is a 34-year-old marketing executive who came to me with severe seasonal spring allergies that was affecting her performance at work. Ritika's typical day started at 5:30 a.m. with a 15-minute review of email and Slack before hurried breakfast prep for her family, followed by dropping off her daughter at school and then rushing to back-to-back meetings until late evening. She survived on cold green smoothies, coffees, and takeout salads, all foods that seem healthy based on the trendy influencers she was following on Instagram, but were actually increasing her kapha imbalance during spring. Her symptoms: persistent brain fog, afternoon energy crashes, and such severe congestion that she had resorted to using prescription medicines daily, which left her feeling even more sluggish and disconnected. I can see some of you shake your heads. We implemented just three changes to start with. One, I switched her morning smoothie to a warming drink. One of my favorites is a smoothie made with either quinoa or mung beans with some boiled apples and pears. So good. We incorporated a 3-minute dry brush massage just before her shower. This would help her lymphatic drainage so that the kapha would move out of her body quickly. And a simple nasya practice about 30 minutes after showering with Anutaila. Within just 3 days, Ritika was experiencing better mood with her family, especially her daughter. By 2 weeks, she reported that her morning congestion had decreased. She no longer needed her daily medication. And most remarkably, she noticed her mental clarity returning, something she hadn't even realized she had lost until it came back. And Ritika told me, I thought I was just getting perimenopausal or burning out. I had no idea these simple changes could make such a difference in how I experience spring. I'm sharing Ritika's story because I have something even more exciting for you. I've created a free downloadable 7-day Kapha diet plan that will go a long way in taking the guesswork out of your spring diet and go beyond what we are discussing today. You can get this comprehensive guide by clicking the link in the episode description. This plan has helped hundreds of my clients transform their spring experience, and I would love for you to benefit from it too. Remember, you don't have to do everything at once. In fact, if you try to implement all these practices simultaneously, you might most probably feel overwhelmed, which is the last thing you need right now. As you listen to these recommendations, think about which one resonates most and feels doable in your current life situation. Maybe you'll introduce one practice immediately and save others for later. That's completely okay. What's right for you will be unique to your constitution and circumstances. But what I can tell you with confidence is that these practices work. How do I know? I've been an Ayurvedic practitioner for over a decade, and I've worked with thousands of women just like you. And these are the exact steps that have consistently brought relief and balance. And I'm also a human being, just the same pressures and challenges you face with a full practice and a teenager at home. And I understand what it's like to balance professional demands with self care, which is why I have designed these practices to fit into even the busiest of modern lifestyle. Now, our fourth wisdom addresses the most important balance between rest and activity during spring. While it might seem counterintuitive, Ayurveda advises against day sleep or afternoon naps during this season, as they can further aggravate kapha and leave you feeling more congested and lethargic. I understand how tempting that midday rest can be, especially after a hectic morning of Zoom calls and deadlines. However, napping during the daytime directly increases kapha in our system, which is already out of balance during spring. This can worsen congestion, lethargy, and allergy symptoms. Save daytime napping to really hot days that feel like summer is already here. Instead of napping, consider these kapha balancing activities. A brisk, brief walk after lunch can re energize you more effectively than a nap. Even just 10 minutes around your office building or neighborhood can stimulate circulation and clear stagnant energy. Engage in activities that invigorate your body, such as yoga or brisk walking. This helps to reduce kapha and keeps your energy levels high. If you have access to a fitness center with a sauna, this is a good time to pop in for 15 minutes. Another zero cost activity my community loves is to follow along a dance workout. YouTube is our go to resource from everything from Zumba to belly dancing. This is also a good time to just play a 15-minute comedy routine on YouTube and just laugh. Just lie on a chair, relax, just listen to something that's funny, get your energy moving. My final wisdom combines several therapeutic practices that can be woven into your daily bath routine to continually clear accumulated kapha and maintain balance throughout allergy season. One is dry massages. Consider gentle dry massages using a loofah or a sea silk glove. This invigorates your skin and promotes lymphatic drainage, helping to clear any stagnation. The second one is bathing with herbal powders. This is called as ubdan in the Ayurvedic language or udvartana in Sanskrit. After you exercise, indulge in a refreshing bath using soothing powders mixed in with sandalwood and camphor. These not only cleanse but also uplift your mood. If you don't have edible camphor or sandalwood, which can be hard to source outside of India, feel free to use essential oils like tea tree, eucalyptus, or lavender, mixed in with herbal powder masks made of oatmeal, chickpea flour, green monk flour. Mix it in with a little bit of turmeric, some rose powder, some Ayurvedic powders like ashwagandha, shatavari, fenugreek. Add a splash of rose water. Make it luxurious. Treat yourself. Now, which of these simple therapeutic practices resonate most with you? I wonder. Could you commit to one of them for the next week, noticing how it affects your seasonal symptoms? I'd love to hear from you. As we prepare to close our time together, I invite you to view seasonal allergies not merely as inconveniences to be suppressed, but as messengers guiding us towards balance. The discomfort we experience is our body's wisdom speaking, asking us to realign with nature's rhythm. I've had a challenging spring, and this challenging spring is a reflection of the time I spent in India during winter, traveling constantly, going through an unfortunate incident where I had to get vaccinations, eating at different places, sleeping at all times. The allergic reactions I am having is one of the worst I've experienced in decades. And this is my flag to pay attention. This is bringing me more in alignment in how I take care of my body. I take care of my body not just for myself and my family, but also for my community. When I am missing in action, my community suffers. So I have even more responsibility to share my knowledge, share my lessons, share my lived experience with you so that you can work better. You can do better in your own life. See, these practices we've explored today are not mere remedies. They are invitation to reconnect with yourself, with nature, with the ancient wisdom that flows through your very being. As modern women navigating complex lives, we do not need to choose between tradition and pragmatism. The beauty of Ayurveda lies in its adaptability, its ability to meet us exactly where we are, offering guidance that honors both our ancestral wisdom and our contemporary reality. Thank you for joining me in this sacred space of healing. I create these podcasts with the sole intention of helping you feel better, live more vibrantly, and reconnect with your body's innate wisdom. Until our paths cross again next week, may you walk in harmony with the season, may your breath flow freely, and may you recognize the healer that has always resided within you. Namaste.